Aha! Greetings, one and all. It is I, Captain of the Devil's Luck Pirates, William D. Chapston here. Yes. I will wait a moment for your massive amounts of applause to subside. Oh my goodness, it just keeps going. Wow, it's insane. All right, well, I guess I'll just start the video, I suppose. Tekking asked me to come in today to talk to you about ultimate finishing moves, all right? We're talking about a move that defines a character, right? And you know, these are really important. You can't just pull an ultimate finishing move out of your ass at the last minute. You need to plan it, all right? That's what makes it cool. I already have the final move that I'm going to have in One Piece D&D, and just like that, the Straw Hats for their ultimate final attack. I'm not just talking about like Zoro's Ashura or, you know, Usopp using Impact Wolf or something like that. No, I'm talking about their final finishing moves. Like they're going up against the Blackbeard Pirates. What is each of the Straw Hats' final move going to be to finish them off? You know, what's Usopp's final move against Van Augur gonna be? What's Zoro's final move to finish off Shiryu going to be? That's the kind of ultimate finishing moves we're talking about today. We're entering the final saga of One Piece, right? So that means these finishing moves are going to be happening in the next couple of years. At some point, the Straw Hats are going to pull off their final moves, their strongest, their apex, their peak. Unless we do a sequel story or something where we cut to like 20 years in the future where Zoro's even stronger, whatever. So honestly, it could be more of just like, this is their ultimate move as they are right now, but then they can train and improve and maybe reach even greater heights later and later on in the story. Essentially, at this point, One Piece is just becoming Dragon Ball, where we go to Z, and then Super, and then like more and more transformations. You know, Sanji knows how to go into like Super Chef 3, and then Super Chef God, and then it just keeps going up from there. You know, that kind of stuff, right? So yes, we are going to go through each of the Straw Hats today, from Luffy to Jinbe, and talk about what their final moves could possibly be, based upon hints that we've already gotten in the story. And also, you got to understand a lot of the Straw Hats moves are based on their backstories as well. There's like some connection to that. So Oda might very well want their final finishing move. I'm picturing this against the Blackbeard Pirates, but maybe it could be against some other crew. But I'm imagining like each of the Straw Hats are going to square off one-on-one against Blackbeard's crew, and then that'll be their final hurdle in the story, right? So it might be based on their backstories, might be based off some other characters that they know very well, like inspired them to create techniques of this great caliber. But let's get started with the main character, of course, Luffy. Now, we learned a lot of stuff about Luffy's Devil Fruit in the last arc. You know, the Gamu Gamu no Mi, or the Hito Hito no Mi model Sun God Nika. That'd be cool if I ruled that on my Devil Fruit at some point. I wonder how that would go in the story. Anywho, Luffy now has access to Gear 5th, which gives him basically like rubber hose animation abilities, right? Essentially, he can turn anything that he comes in contact with into rubber, and he can physically hold it, even if it's something like plasma that can't normally be touched by humans without like having your hand melted off. Luffy can touch it perfectly fine. He picked up a lightning bolt and chucked it right at Kaido. So with that being said, I don't want, you know, his ultimate finishing move to be something maybe too serious. You know, I think a lot of people thought when Luffy was going to go into Gear 5th, like what that would look like. Maybe a lot of people were picturing like a Super Saiyan-esque sort of transformation where Luffy's hair stands up and then, you know, he has hockey all over his body, sort of like a slimmed down version of Gear 4th. I don't know if that's what people were really picturing. And then Luffy just has this like Conqueror's hockey fist and he just punches out Kaido or something. What we got was Luffy basically turning into a cartoon character, like way back in like, you know, the old days of like Disney or like Hanna-Barbera animation or something like that. And I really think that fits the character of Luffy. So I'm thinking his final move, though, is going to be something that is going to be like the final symbol of freedom in the world, because that's what Luffy embodies. He embodies freedom, as he said that before, but also he's a member of the Will of D, which are always fighting for freedom. And he has the power of the sun god Nika, which has been mentioned before. This sun deity was the one that always brought about cheers and happiness and freedom to everyone. The slaves of the One Piece world pray to Nika for them to, release them from their suffering, for a constant, basically beacon of hope. Very apropos, considering that it is a sun deity, okay? So I'm not really sure if we're going to go literal with this, where Luffy's final attack is going to be something heat or fire based, I would be fine with that, considering that Luffy has connections, of course, to Ace and Sabo, his older brothers. Ace had the Marimara no Mi, and now Sabo has it. So for Luffy's final attack to be something reminiscent of, like, Ace's Entei, the Flame Emperor, where he basically summoned a giant flaming spirit bomb and then threw it at Blackbeard, for actually Luffy to use a very similar technique to defeat Blackbeard, that would be perfect, right? Blackbeard and Luffy are fighting. Luffy's in Gear 5th. He's like, this is going to be my ultimate attack of all time. And he, I don't know, turns into a giant, or he reaches up and grabs the moon. Pretty much everything is on the table because Gear 5th kind of like makes that possible. I don't know. Luffy reaches up, grabs the moon, turns the moon into a flaming ball of energy, and then chucks it at Blackbeard. And that's the thing that defeats him. It would be ridiculous, it would be silly, but that's kind of the whole point around Luffy. And his final attack would also have a very symbolic mean, because, like, the attack hits Blackbeard, defeats him, and at the same time, like, Dragon's Revolution, the bells of freedom, like, ring throughout the world, and the Tenryubito system is demolished, and then, like, Fishman Island, I don't know, is destroyed, but it rises up to the ocean, so the fishmen can now live amongst the people of the world, and the sun shines down on all of them. Luffy might even be that sun. Luffy might punch the earth so damn hard that it levels Marie Joie and the Red Line, and it just leaves this giant, hole in the sky of the sun streaming down. Kind of like Enies Lobby. Oh, wait. It used to be that I thought, like, maybe the awakened user of the Pika Pika no Mi resulted in the sun constantly streaming down on Enies Lobby. But now that we know Luffy is a sun deity, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that for a little bit, because that's something interesting in its own right? So anyway, though, Luffy's attacks, his final moves for every single villain usually end up with just being a giant fist. Here comes the giant fist! And I guess at this point, might as well stay on the course, you know what I mean? If Luffy was going to finish off Kaido through some other means, he would have probably done it, but it ended up being the monkey god gun. It ended up you being a giant fist like the size of a mountain or bigger than Onigashima coming down and punching out Kaido. So you know what? Screw it. Let's just have Luffy's final Gear 5th move against Blackbeard be a fist the size of the Red Line that comes down with flaming eternity and nuclear fission spewing off of it, Conqueror's Hockey going mad, punches Blackbeard, levels the Red Line, destroys Fishman Island, so there's that prophecy. But by that point, Fishman Island would have been evacuated with the Noah. Let's just assume that happens. And so all of the fishmen and merfolk that live there are safe. Their home island is destroyed, but they get to create a new island on the ruins of the Red Line as the sun streams directly down, because wherever Luffy uses this technique, there's just constant sunlight. There's just constant, like, wherever it is for all time. And so the sun pirates and the fishmen and merfolk want to live under the sun. Luffy does this technique at that exact location, and then the fishmen and merfolk build their new island there, kind of like how Enies Lobby is, and then the sun streams down there. Hell, Enies Lobby might have been the site of the former battle between Joy Boy and the world government. Maybe that's why Enies Lobby became so important as the Judiciary Island. Possibly, right? So yeah, it is still going to be rather goofy and silly, because that's the whole point of Gear 5th. Alright, but that's Luffy's final move. It basically just culminates to, it's just going to be an even bigger fist. It's going to be a fist the size of a mountain, bigger than that, because that's what his last move was. It's going to be a fist the size of the moon coming down, it's going to be that, okay? Anyway, that's Luffy. Now, moving on to Zoro. Oh, yes. Now, we have a lot of stuff with Zoro, alright? We have Ashura. We have the Enma. We have his Conqueror's Haki. We have the idea that he's going to turn Enma into a Kokuto, or at least the Wado into a Kokuto, alright? It might be a situation, like, here's an idea. If Zoro actually figures out how to turn a sword into a black blade into a Kokuto, why would that be limited to just one blade? I mean, I guess you could say that, like, he's the most connected to the Wado Ichimonji because he's used it the most, but that might not have anything to do with it. It might be a thing where it's like, Zoro learns how to turn a blade into a Kokuto, and he just uses that on all three of his blades. So Wado, Enma, and the Sandai Katetsu all turn into Kokutos at the same time. Might be something like that. So here's what I'm thinking for Zoro, all right? Zoro's going to face off against Shiryu, right? And he's this very duplicitous swordsman, has nothing to do with honor or dignity. He'll stab somebody in the back. He'll turn invisible and then stab somebody in the back, which is like, you know, the worst way you could stab somebody in the back. Actually, that's a good idea. I should probably write that down. I wish I had a sword, but some lizard bastard with a stupid mustache stole it. So when I find that guy, I'm gonna run my boot square up his ass and then shove a Tempest kick right up into his colon, and I'm gonna get my damn sword back. Yeah, William's redemption arc. It's happening. One Piece D&D. Check it out over on Rustage's Twitch. I'll throw a card up here. Okay. So anyway, though, no, okay. Zoro, let me just bear with me here, all right? Zoro has 3 swords, right? Yes. Then he goes into Ashura, which triples that to 9. All right. What if we have Zoro have 99 swords? I'm just going to come out and say it, all right? Zoro just multiplies it even further. So, and we already know Zoro's like, you know, there's, whenever he goes into like his real battle form, you know, there's like demon eyes, and like the Ashura itself is like this demon deity with like 9 arms that's appearing behind him or whatever. You know, it's like some really cool imagery with that kind of shit, right? So what if we just take that to the extreme where it's something similar to like Isaac Netero's, 100 type Guanyin Bodhisattva? You know, something like that, where Zoro's fighting Shiryu. He goes into his, his Ashura, his 9-sword style, but even that's not enough. So Zoro combines his Conqueror's Haki. All 3 of his blades are all Kokutos at this point. Lightning is spewing off of him, and then he multiplies that to the next level. He multiplies his 9 swords by 10, so now he has 99 swords, which keeps with the flow of the numbering scheme, 3, 9, 99. Maybe he could go 33 and 66 and then 99, something like that. Like he uses, 1 sword style becomes 33 swords, 2 swords become 66, 3 become 99. Something how he uses the Phoenix abilities, 36 caliber, 72 caliber, and then 108 caliber. So kind of keeping with the numbering scheme here. So 99 sword style Zoro, where he has the 9 swords on him with his Ashura, but then it expands even further to this giant demon entity that's behind him that is made out of solid Conqueror's Haki that is just like blades coming out of every single inch of this being. Or it's a 99 armed being or something like that. We could go to that level, right? Actually, 99 is not that far from 108, and 108 is a very relevant number in Buddhism, and a lot of Zoro's techniques are named after that. That was also, fun fact, the reason why Aruge's bounty was originally 108 million, because he's a monk, and it ties back into that as well. So why not just have 108 swords? Like, how many swords is Zoro going to use by the end of this story? 9, 32, 108, a million? 3,333,333,333? I don't know, but it's going to be a lot of swords. All right, we just keep adding on swords onto Zoro. He uses that. He defeats Shiryu in an epic display of Ashura, Conqueror's Haki, and Kokuto madness, all right? And he looks like a straight-up demon, ripped from the pages of some lost codex of our history and religion. There you go, all right? That's Zoro's final move. That's how it's done. I guess he opens up his demon eye for good measure, too. Why not, right? Actually, you know what I was thinking the other day? It'd be really cool if Zoro opens up his eye, but there's nothing there, because it's not like the Sharingan or some kind of demon eye. No, it literally got cut out. Okay, so he's literally opening his eye, and it's just a void. Okay, it's just an empty socket. But that alone would be so intimidating. Can you imagine that? Like Shiryu's fighting Zoro, and then Zoro opens his eye, and it's just this black void of nothingness. And then you just maybe Oda adds like a little flare of Conqueror's Haki, like lightning coming off of his demon eye. And then Shiryu just looks into the void. He stares into the darkness of the abyss, and the abyss stares back with 99,999 swords, just like, and it's just this image where Shiryu's fighting him, and he like senses this image of just being stabbed from 99 different directions, and he's just like, shh, and then that's the end of the battle. All right, that would be cool. That would be epic. Okay. So, moving on now, we have Nami. All right. Nami's is going to be pretty simple. Now, remember, not all of the Straw Hats are like, big-time fighters. Nami is certainly not one of them, but she can fight, and I think that she is going to have to face off against one opponent in the Blackbeard Pirates now that the Blackbeard Pirates are, they're kind of even to the Straw Hat crew, right? There's around, we have the 10 Titanic captains, plus we have Blackbeard, okay? So, in this case, we have 10 members of the Straw Hats total, including Luffy. So, I guess 2 of the Straw Hats could double up and fight against one of the members, but we just don't know all about Blackbeard's crew yet. So with Nami, I actually thought of a technique that would be pretty cool for her. Her thing is lightning. I mean, she can, sort of master all different types of weather phenomenon. She can use the Fata Morgana and like mirages. She could summon rain. She can summon wind. But it seems lightning is the main way she attacks, because lightning is the way nature fights against us. You know what I mean? Nature is capable of a lot of scary things. Typhoons, hurricanes, tsunamis, and all that stuff. But lightning is like the sword of the heavens that comes down, right? Okay, so let's keep it with lightning, and she has Zeus on her right now, and you know what, I just wrote it down. She releases a lightning attack that is similar to or greater than Eneru's lightning attack. Okay, now this would not be, she could do this all the time, so she's basically just like Eneru, but she channels the power of Zeus and her climatic and her weather knowledge at one point where she creates a lightning bolt that's on the level of like, Eneru using his Raijin technique or something, and it's sort of like a one and done. It's sort of like she can only use it once, and then Zeus is like, drained of all of his energy and he can't do anything anymore, but that's like her ultimate finishing move, okay? Oda also mentioned in an SBS that if Nami could have a Devil Fruit ability, it would be Eneru's Goro Goro no Mi. It would be the Lightning Fruit, okay? So I think this sort of fits together here, where she releases a technique maybe against Katarina Devon, and that's how Nami finishes her off with this ultimate lightning attack. Like, it's like a lightning bolt that's like the size of, I don't know, like the Burj Khalifa or something, like this giant building skyscraper and this lightning bolt. I mean, it has girth. This lightning bolt has girth. That's what I'm pointing at here, okay? It comes down and just nukes everything surrounding Katarina Devon, and that's how she is defeated, right? So let's go with something with that there. Pretty simple. I also wrote down a pinwheel because she has the pinwheel tattoo because of Genzo from her hometown, Kokoyashi. So what if, like, the lightning bolt had the appearance of her tattoo of, like, the pinwheel, like this spinning, fidget spinner lightning bolt of death, giant shuriken she strikes, one of the Blackbeard pirates with. That would be cool too, all right? So I don't think it's going to be anything super complicated. It's not like Nami is going to go into a crazy transformation. Maybe we could have something where when she's channeling this much lightning into her climatic and Zeus is there, maybe we have a moment where her hair stands up and it's like lightning hair, like she went to Super Saiyan 2 or something. But it's not really a transformation. It's more of just like she's powering up for a technique, and there's like lightning spewing around her, and her hair kind of sticks up for a moment, and it looks really badass, and then after the technique is over, it goes back down. It's not like Nami actually awakens Super Saiyan 2, or Nami like fuses with Zeus and, goes into like something kind of like Lightning Nami Livewire mode or something like that. It's just, a really powerful technique with her climatic. And using the technique might actually fry her climatic. It might actually destroy Nami's rod, and that's just not a good time, right? So, yeah, just keep that in mind. All right, next up we have Usopp. All right, Usopp, he's very gadgety, right? So he has a lot of stuff in his arsenal. He's got the Kabuto, he's got his Pop Greens, a lot of stuff to work with here. Hopefully he'll have observation hockey mastered at a decent level by the time he goes up against Van Augur, because Van Augur has that. And Van Augur uses a rifle, and Usopp's got slingshots, okay? But he could still do this, all right? I would still like the Straw Hats to go to Elbaf, meet the Giants, and for Usopp to receive some kind of holy weapon from the Giants of Elbaf, like straight out of Norse mythology. Like, not quite like Thor's hammer Mjolnir, but like something similar to that, okay? Actually, there is a spear in Norse mythology called Gungir, probably butchering the pronunciation there, and that's the technique name that Hyrudin used to defeat Mokvice, okay? But that's an actual weapon, and it's a spear that Odin throws that never misses. That's Gungir, okay? So I'm just saying, there might be, they go to Elbaf, they go to the castle where Othin lives, and Thor is there, and maybe Loki's there. I guess Loki is not scheming in this world. Maybe he is. I don't know. We have not really met Loki. We don't really know what he's all about. We know he was interested in Lola, but that didn't work out, so I don't know what Loki's personality is going to be. But it'd be interesting if they go to Elbaf, the Straw Hats save the day, whatever it is, and Othin decides to give Usopp this spear that can, hit anything. There's also a ring that Odin has that multiplies anything he touches, something along that line. So it's perhaps maybe that. These are gifts of the dwarves. You can look these up in Norse mythology or whatever. But there's a lot of artifacts from Norse mythology that could be converted into objects in the One Piece world that they could utilize, and Usopp getting something like that would be very useful. Okay, something that multiplies anything, so he can just take pop greens, infinitely multiplying pop greens, or some kind of weapon that no matter where he throws it, it always hits its mark, something along those lines. So I would like Usopp to get some sort of giant related weapon that could defeat Van Augur. He has to train with it a little bit, but that's his final move, because that's how Usopp levels up. Usopp does not level up by achieving a new form or anything like that, or eating a devil fruit. He levels up by creating new tools and gadgets for him to fight with, and weapons. That's what he does. Okay, he took the pop greens at the Boeing Islands, and he managed to convert them into his new Kabuto, and that's what he uses to fight right now, and that's also what Nami's new climatic is made out of. So Usopp may be receiving, this is a spear that hits anything he throws at him. Okay, Usopp takes the spear, Gungir, and he modifies it a little bit and converts the spear into a slingshot, and it's the golden Kabuto, or the god Kabuto, or the Odin Kabuto, and it's he rips off, he takes off the blade of the spear, replaces it with the Kabuto slingshot, but it still has the same effect. Oh, dude, some shit like that would be fire. Okay, let's go with that, Usopp. I'm really hyping myself up for Usopp. I really hope it's something like that. God, the Straw Hats have to go to Elbaf. All right, so who's next? We have Sanji. All right. I've actually had the idea for Sanji's finishing move for a long time now. I'm sure probably a lot of people have. So Sanji, whenever he powers up and goes into his, ultimate attack to defeat Queen or whoever, he goes into Diablo Jambe. Now it's Ifrit Jambe, which is an even hotter blue fire. So we could ratchet that up even higher. We could have it starts from red, orange kind of fire, and then it's blue fire right now. Then it could go up to white hot fire, maybe something similar to Luffy's Gear 5th. So there's some comparison there. Sanji just harnesses nuclear fission in his leg, whatever. We could do something like that. But what would the attack name be? And I feel like it has to be named because his techniques are always named after certain ways to prepare food, or, certain courses of food. Remember his anti-manner kick course that he used to defeat the Banana Wani back in Alabasta? Sanji's final attack has to be something similar to last meal, or the final course, or something like your last meal on death row. However you could make that sound badass in Japanese, whatever the translation for that is, that needs to be Sanji's final move. He's fighting against, I don't know, Vasco Shot or somebody, or Burgess, and it's just he heats up both of his legs to the next level. He goes to kick Burgess, and he's just last meal! And then Burgess just explodes. Obviously, he has really good speed at this point. Oda even mentioned in an SBS that he doesn't turn invisible anymore, but he moves so fast, it's like he's turning invisible. So picture that attack that I just said to you, except it's not just coming from one direction. It's basically he's making clones or after images of himself. Sanji's bouncing around the battlefield so fast, there's 12 of him all coming simultaneously to hit you at the same time. So it's Burgess is fighting him, and then it's just, Sanji's ultimate attack, he heats up both of his legs, and then the next shot is something similar to Shiryu with Zoro's swords, which is why these techniques I think are so similar, because Zoro and Sanji are very similar in a lot of ways. So it's Shiryu gets skewered with 99 swords at the same time. Meanwhile, Vasco Shot or Burgess just sees 12 feet just coming at him at once from all these different angles for how fast that Sanji's moving. So Burgess is I'll move over here. Shit, I'll move over here. Oh, shit. And then it just, boom, hits him at the same time. Final kick course or something like that. And that's the final move for Sanji there. He does still have the raid suit, but Does he? He destroyed it. Maybe Usopp or Franky saved a copy of it and made a new one. I don't know if Sanji's going to bust out the raid suit anymore. So if he doesn't, let's just go with this. Next up is Chopper. And you know what? I'm actually excited for Chopper's, all right? So all of Chopper's techniques, he doesn't fight super often. He doesn't have a lot of name techniques compared to like all the name techniques Luffy and Zoro and Sanji have. But he does have a few, okay? So his techniques are usually based off of cherry blossoms, okay? So the technique he used to defeat Kuromarimo back at Drum Island was he just took his palm, which is a hoof, and he went into arm point and he just like punched him really hard in the jaw. So it looked like the appearance of a single cherry blossom falling. Then later on, he used an advanced form of that technique to defeat Kuma. Well, he didn't defeat Kumadori with it. He used Monster Point to defeat Kumadori. But at the moment in that point in the story, Chopper's final technique was going into arm point and using Rosario Michieri, which is like cherry blossom, falling down or something. And so it was like a barrage. It was basically a barrage of these attacks. So when he hit Kumadori with it, it looked like an entire blizzard or like an array of cherry blossoms on his chest, and Kumadori was like, an awesome array of cherry blossoms, how beautiful, but it's not good enough, and then Chopper had to go into Monster Point to properly defeat Kumadori. So here's what I'm picturing, okay? I don't really know exactly how Chopper would execute this technique. I'm guessing he would fight against Doc Q and Stronger, because Doc Q is the doctor in the Blackbeard crew, so Chopper fights against him. I'm picturing Chopper just going up into the air, and then through some combination of his transformations and the rumble balls or whatever, he basically releases just an air raid of these cherry blossom attacks from the sky, which result in a scene that's very similar to the cherry blossoms falling down on Drum, like when they launched the cannons into the air and it turned the snow pink and it looked like all of Drum Island had been turned into, a cherry blossom wonderland. Also similar to Hiraluk in his past when he stumbled upon the nation that was filled with cherry blossoms and they cured his illness. So that would tie back to Chopper's backstory in a big way. Chopper doesn't just do one cherry blossom petal or like a flurry of cherry blossom petals. No, he creates a storm, a veritable blitzkrieg of cherry blossom petals just raining down from the sky. So damn fast, the entire battlefield is bathed into pink, and there's actual cherry blossoms flying around, and whoever's Doc Q is just like, ah! And because the cherry blossom cured Hiraluk's illness, Chopper is going to use it to cure Doc Q's illness. His illness is he's still alive. So, and Doc Q might have like some kind of disease paramecia or some kind of disease logia for all we know. You know what I mean? Like seriously, it might be something like that where, he can spread disease with his body, and Chopper's like, I'm gonna defeat you. Just like how Hiraluk used to say. He saw cherry blossoms and that was the cure to the illness. Well, this ultimate attack that Chopper pulls off creates a cherry blossom storm, which cures the illness of Doc Q existing, I guess. So there you go. There you go. It's very poetic. I'm not really sure how Chopper would do this, if he transforms into Arm Point or Kung Fu Point or Monster Point, or transforms into a new form altogether, or uses Monster Point, but like, I'm with more agility added. I'm not really sure. But that's like the ultimate move I can see Chopper pulling off. It would be really cool, if nothing else, just aesthetically to see that. Okay. Next up is Robin. Now, Robin just went into her Demonio form, which was like Demon Lady in the last arc when she defeated Black Maria. So I really think that's the crux of what her final move is going to be. So we don't need to mess with the Demon Lady. If nothing, we can turn her even more demonic, all right? So it's either a thing where she learns how to master Demonio and she uses her Devil Fruit to create multiple Demonios. So this was just one of them that fought against Black Maria, but in the next one, when she fights against, somebody on Blackbeard's crew, I don't know. I would really want Nami, if there's going to be a one-to-one face-off, I would really want Nami to be the one to face off against Katarina Devon. But if the Straw Hats do have to double up, I guess Nami and Robin working together to take on Devon would be really cool as well. Because Devon's whole thing is she hunts women that are very beautiful. That's the reason she's called the Crescent Moon Hunter. Because she would literally take like a Crescent Moon halberd or like a Naginata, like a Crescent Moon polearm weapon, and cut off the heads of beautiful women. All right, so her to face off against Nami and Robin, both beautiful women, that would work as well. But anyway, yeah, regardless of who she's fighting against, Robin goes into her Demonio form and then makes like 6 of them, okay? Because like the number of the beast. So there's like 6 Demonio and there's like a 6-pointed star that they're appearing in or whatever. And then she uses some technique with like armament hockey to like finish off Katarina Devon. That would be cool. Maybe make her from a demon to a straight up devil. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the horns or whatever. Like basically Oda just cracks open like some old school like depictions of like devils. Maybe not in actual like history and religion, but like some crazy esoteric version of the devil in like some old school Dungeons and Dragons monster manual or something, and then just uses that, or maybe something like Lovecraftian, and just uses that as an example for Robin's abilities, okay? I hesitate to say Lovecraftian though, because that's gonna be Brook, and we're gonna get to him in a moment, okay? Just hold off. But yeah, Robin mastering Demonio, maybe learning armament hockey, making multiple Demonios, and then using some final demon attack to like finish off Katarina Devon. That would be really sweet to witness. Okay. Next up, we have Franky. Franky is actually the easiest one, all right? And I talked about this before. I mean, Tekking talked about this before. I'm Captain William, obviously, yes. I'm going to take off my wig now because it's very annoying. Oh, my God. Oh, all right, okay, that's way better. Oh, my God, all right. So the veil has been broken. All right, Franky. All right, let's talk about him for a moment, all right? In the last chapter, Franky's got his new wanted poster, right? But it actually doesn't have his face. It has the Thousand Sunnies figurehead. Now, Franky gets very pissed at this, but what if he takes this to his advantage? What if that actually gives him an idea to be like, wait a second, what if I combine my robot body with the Sunny to make an ultimate final mecha? You know what I mean? So maybe the Sunny wasn't built for that already, but he makes the necessary modifications, where it's Franky gets, you know, he's the Battle Franky 37 model. So he gets into the Franky Shogun, which is Battle Franky 38, and then the Battle Franky 38 Iron Pirate Franky Shogun merges with the Sunny, which becomes Battle Franky 39, and it merges into a giant robot, and it releases the Gao Cannon times like 10. And then that's his final move, which would be beautiful because it didn't exist until the world government gave Franky the idea and the inspiration by plastering the Sunny on his wanted poster. That got Franky to think like, all right, if the world government wants to think the Sunny is me, then I'll make the Sunny part of me. And then he goes to his workshop and he's like modifying it. It's like, hey guys, he says to the rest of the Straw Hat crew, like, hey guys, stay off the Sunny for like 3 days. I need to make some renovations. And you're just like starting to work on it and whatever, and they come back and the Sunny looks the same, and it's like, well, what renovations did you do, Franky? The Sunny looks the same. It's like, oh, don't you super worry. When the super time comes, I'll tell you what's super about super. That'll show the world government to put the damn figurehead on the freaking wanted poster. They want a war. They got a damn super war. You know what I mean? And then Franky rolls up, and he has this giant Sunny mech, and it's just blasting Gao cannons everywhere. All missiles are attached to it. Oh my God. And you know what? That would work. That would make a lot of sense, because that would mean during the final battle of this story, the final war the Straw Hats are part in, because that's going to happen at some point. The final battle the Straw Hats are in, the Sunny is not just docked somewhere off to the side. The Sunny itself is part of the battle, actually carrying its weight, and Franky is piloting it. That would be beautiful, because, like, you know, every time the battle happens, like, all right, the Sunny's just going to dock over here, hope it stays safe. Now we can actually have the Sunny as part of the battle. That would be cool. It's pretty simple, actually, when you think about it, but I think we are going with that. I think that is foreshadowing on Oda's part. Next, we have Brook. Oh, my God. All right, I've made plenty of videos about Brook before, and I'll tell you what, Brook's power, when you think about it for longer than a couple of seconds, is literally the power of channeling the world of the dead. He literally is an abomination on this earth, living in the mortal plane with a soul that has been ripped out of the underworld. And he channels the power of the cold and icy winds of the underworld in his sword. His power is very eldritch. It's very dark and demonic when you think about it. So what if we just go the whole 9 yards? Brook's final technique, his ultimate move is he cracks open a hole to the underworld, and then the screaming sounds of lost souls come billowing out as he conducts it like a damn symphony. He takes out a conductor's wand, and he's just like, I will now conduct the Symphony of the Dead. And it's just this screeching sound as all these demons are like, whoa, like screaming out of the dead. Or maybe like he's playing the violin and the souls of the damned come out of his violin and they reach out and they like pass through people. And it's like an instant kill. It's like a one-shot kill thing. It's like Zebra's death noise, like Shioto from Toriko or something like that. And he can only use it once and he gets really tired afterwards, or his soul is severely weakened afterwards, or whatever drawback you want to use with it. But it's the final move he pulls off. It's the final attack. Let's say he fights against, well, I would say San Juan Wolf, but I actually want Franky to fight against San Juan Wolf. I want the Sunny to actually defeat this giant times 10 sort of thing with a Gao cannon times 10. You know, that would be cool. Let's say Brook fights against Avala Pizarro, I guess. Whatever. Doesn't matter. But he uses this technique that's basically like an instant kill, and the voices of the underworld, like the screeching sound. So it's still music related, it's still voice related, and it's still soul related. These two things together. And the scene where Brook activates this move, he looks straight up demonic. His face, the aura coming off of him, looks like he is Lucifer incarnate, okay? Like, that would be pretty damn cool. So we have Robin and Brook both utilizing powers of, like, the underworld. Meanwhile, well, I guess Zoro, too. Meanwhile, we have Sanji and Luffy that might be utilizing powers of, like, the heavens in the way of, like, flames, fire, you know, lights. And, you know, Robin and Brook and Zoro are using more darkness-based abilities. Something like that, okay? Nami also using light with, like, lightning and stuff. And then Usopp just using a really fancy slingshot. Basically, there you go. But yeah, that's Brook, essentially. You can, like, build on it to that. Like, he opens up the underworld, or he summons the spirits of the underworld. Or screw it, he summons the Lord of the Underworld. Brook dials up Hades himself and is just like, yo-ho-ho-ho! Hi there, Hades. I was wondering if you could just pop by the mortal realm really quick to annihilate this member of the Blackbeard Pirates. And Lucifer, or Hades, or whoever is just like, yes. And then emerges and, like, possesses Brook's body briefly and then, like, kills Avala Pizarro, calls it a day. Something like that would be pretty cool. And then Brook just goes back to, like, yo-ho-ho-ho! I summon the powers of the dead to kill my enemies in a single hit, dragging them down to the depths of the underrealm. Yo! 45 degrees! Straight down! Okay, so yeah, that's Brook. Now, finally, we have Jinbe, alright? And Jinbe is a relatively new member of the Straw Hats. I didn't think of anything super crazy cool for him, but I did think of an idea, alright? So Jinbe, he's already trained in the art of fishman karate, all right? So he's, you know, been part of this craft for a long time. This is not like he just started to train when he joined Luffy's crew, or he was, you know, building up his strength like Usopp and Nami did, okay? Or even like Zoro and Sanji. You know, he was already pretty damn tough by the time he joined, okay? Now, can he get stronger? Absolutely. I'm just saying right now, Jinbe's like in his 40s, which is like sort of apex for like One Piece characters. Like late 40s into their 50s are like, that is when they're in their physical prime, okay? So, you know, I'm thinking this is the moment where Jinbe might awaken like the strongest technique he'll ever learn, and that's it, okay? So, he's a master of fishman karate and fishman jujitsu and merman combat and everything like that. And he knows there's different schools of this, right? There's different, like, different ways to learn fishman karate. It's not all the same way from each student to master and all that kind of stuff, right? So what if there's, like, some sort of, like, forbidden school of fishman karate, or, like, some kind of forbidden technique that Jinbe would know about, and maybe it was taught to him by somebody like Fish or Tiger or somebody else, but he just never utilized it, okay? Because it's so dangerous. Like, the kickback of it is so dangerous, or maybe the damage is so widespread it causes more destruction than good. And the whole point of fishman karate is, like, you know, damage, just like real karate. It's not meant to deal massive damage, you know, it's meant to, like, defend yourself, right? So that's the whole idea. So this is a technique that just deals absolute damage, like it levels islands. That's not because they can't, because fishermen and merfolk are very strong. It's not because they can't do this, but they shouldn't. All right, that's why a lot of Jinbe's techniques are like, you know, he's like 10,000 brick fist, and he'll like punch, and like the shockwaves hit you and whatever. And they do a lot of collateral damage, but this just takes it to the next level. So Jinbe uses the ultimate forbidden, you know, technique, the secret technique, Ogi of the Fishman Karate School. And it's named after the Sea Kings. because the Sea Kings are always regarded as like the lords, the gods of the sea. You know, the fishmen and the merfolk cannot communicate with them. Only Poseidon is capable of communicating with them. So what if there's some ancient, lost, forbidden technique of fishman karate that's named after, like, Sea King Retribution or something, Neptunian's Rage, you know, something like that. You know, and it's like, maybe it's, you can combine it with like Jinbe's technique naming scheme, like, you know, 1 billion bricks of the Sea King, you know, like 1 million brick fist or something like that. And he uses it, and it like creates like a spectral image of a Sea King, like a giant Neptunian Leviathan monster coming straight at you and just like dealing so much damage, it like rips the skin off of your body, right? It's like so brutal. It's like this wave of pressurized water hits you so damn hard, it's like your skin gets ripped off. It's like, ah! And then your muscles get ripped off, and then you're just bones, and you're like, ah! And then your body doesn't even realize you're dead until like 5 minutes after it happens, and it's just like, I'm just a talking pile of bones. Oh, wait, I'm dead. And then you just collapse. And then that's like Jinbe's ultimate technique. Also kind of inspired from Hirodora, the daytime tiger that Might Guy uses in Naruto, or like the evening elephant or night guy or something like that. Like Jinbe unlocks the 8th gate, basically, except it's water instead of like chakra or fire. It's fucking water attacks, okay? So there you go. There you have it, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 10 Straw Hat Pirates and 10 ultimate finishing moves. All right. That's how it goes. Now, if you excuse me, wait, hold on. I have to... The hell are Lemming Facts? I'm not doing this. Do I have to do this? I'm being told I have to do this. Okay, Lemming Facts. Go to the intro?
Lemmings with Tekking. Let's all talk about lemmings with Tekking.
All right, so for this exciting installment of Lemming Facts, really? Okay. Wait, you're doing the whole alphabet? Okay, whatever. So, lemmings reproduce, like, a lot. Like, out of all of rodents, they have, like, the highest reproduction, like, cycle. To the point where they actually all gather together in large groups. This is the reason why a lot of, you know, misconceptions arise of, like, lemmings jumping off cliffs and everything. They basically gather together in, like, what can only be described as a giant lemming orgy, I guess, and then they reproduce, and then, like, they separate. But the thing is, this happens so often, I guess, or, like, such, like, a large amount of lemmings come together at one point to do this. Like, their mating season is so intense, they're like rabbits, like, even worse, that it, like, causes their own, like, perception of things to go chaotic. That's why they might end up jumping off cliffs and going into the water and sailing away, because their whole, like, internal compass is all messed up because there's so many of them together, right? And it's just like non-stop lemming sex, I guess. There's also, like, because it's so chaotic and messed up, though, sometimes the mating season might not happen correctly and their numbers might dwindle. So, like, the population of lemmings is like a damn roller coaster where it's like, oh man, their population's booming. Okay, now they're almost extinct. All right, now they're back up again. Well, okay. So, yeah, there you go. That's your lemming fact for today. Lot of lemming sex. Anyway, with that being said, I think it's time for me to get going. Thanks for having me on. This hold on, let me get my, yeah, there we are. All right, this has been Captain William D. Chapston of the Devil's Luck Pirates. Make sure to continue watching our adventures as we fight against Blue Blood, one of the Yonko. I mean, the Straw Hat Pirates are pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but my crew is cooler. I mean, come on, we have a bear on our crew. We have a bear, we have a martial arts dragon girl, we have an alien. Do the Straw Hats have an alien? I don't think so. We do. Her name's Lissa. She makes things. We have Verona, too, who shoots things, and Duros, who's a knight that protects things, and aforementioned Ragnar, who bears things. He bears the weight of our entire crew. And then there's me, I just kind of stand in the background and roll a devil fruit and hope it's something good. I'm going to go practice my Rokushiki now a little bit, but thanks for watching. Signing out. Tech guy! As a side note, just to bring it up, because there's just a wave of nostalgia, doing the video as William kind of really brought me back to the original days of, like, internet reviewing on YouTube. If you guys have been watching since, like, the very beginning, you'll know, okay, the other day I saw a meme on Facebook that, like, really hit home, and I didn't save it or anything, but the meme was like, how come every movie review and video game review back in 2011 had to have, like, the guy reviewing it has like 5 different alternate personalities, and they're like, I'm the evil you, now you have to play the video game while also dealing with me. And it's like, the meme was like, how come every review had to be like that back then? And oh my god, dude, that hit me like a truck. That was like, holy shit, that's how they were all like that. And I think it's because of Angry Video Game Nerd, James Rolfe, and also Doug Walker, who's the nostalgia critic. They got really popular at that time period, and so, like, every reviewer basically copied them or did something similar because they were successful, so you're going to do the kind of the same thing. And so, yeah, like, back in the day, you just, like, you can't just do a movie review. You had to do a movie review, plus, like, half the video had to be like a skit where you save the world from an alternate timeline version of yourself. And it's like, there's just some charm with that, and at some point, it just ended. I think some people I guess everybody just got tired of it. Everyone's like, okay, we don't want to do all this bullshit. Can you just review the damn movie? Just talk about the chapter. I did it too. Go back, watch the early Bleach videos. That's the kind of the same thing. I think around 2015, 2016, people were just, like, done. They were like, okay, can we just... I want to watch the damn review. I just want to hear what your thoughts are on the damn on Avengers Endgame. I want to hear your thoughts on She-Hulk. I don't want a 10-minute sketch where you dress up like the Hulk, and, like, I don't want that. Just do the review. Just do the review. All right, you don't need to dress up like Viserys Targaryen to talk about Heart of the Dragon, House of the Dragon. You don't need to do that. You just talk about the damn movie, or the show or whatever. But there was some nostalgia there. There was some charm to those days, and I just wanted to bring that up. I just wanted to bring you back if you remember it. All right. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Tekking, William, Matt, signing out. Later.